Selling it down market, anyone else?
Powerful presentations.
It's up to you guys. I'll try to get through all of them.
You want to keep going?
Yeah, I just want, before we get going, I just want to ask this group. So,
why don't we do selling it down market first?
Okay.
Presentations and then qualifying last. We've been doing a lot of qualification work, so.
Okay,
we'll
sounds good.
there.
Qualifying is really, it was one of the most difficult modules I wrote because there's not a lot of books on how to qualify properly. There's not a lot of training on how to qualify properly, but it's such an important part of the sales process. So we'll hit that one.
The most important.
I know it is. Okay, so let's start with just to kind of get our mind into it with the video. Welcome everybody that's watching across the country to our training today. We're going to start with a video called The Dash, which is an interesting concept of what we do in our life, and then we're going to get into 3 modules today. Any thoughts? That always freaks me out a little bit. Like, man, what happens if things ended today? Like, man, what would people say about me at the service? What would people say about me would people be up talking about, gosh, this is what he did. He was wonderful. I don't know about you guys, but I want to leave a legacy in my life. Okay, I want to rock it in work. I want to rock it with my friends. I want to rock it in my finance. I want to rock it where I can give back to people. Okay, and so it's just a kind of a small little. Sometimes we don't think about this. We're so caught up in our everyday lives, we don't think about what kind of a legacy are we leaving. So this is the theme for the month. If you guys would write this down, finish strong. The very first month that I came here, I showed that video the very first time I came here, and it was about finishing strong. And so the first 6 months are gone, obviously. We can't take them back. We can't take back yesterday at all. But we can definitely, absolutely finish the year strong. We can finish the month strong. We can finish the day strong. And it's really been on my mind a lot. It's been kind of my July theme. And I always like to share with you guys personally some things that are going on. And I've absolutely been making a commitment recently to trying to make 10 to 12 contacts a day. You guys have heard me talk about it a lot. And Fridays are sometimes hard days. You got the weekend coming up, you got things going, and especially the last couple weeks with July 4th, and just things are happening a lot. But on this last Friday, I was at 9 contacts at 3 o'clock, and I just couldn't get that 10th contact. 4 o'clock goes, 4:30 goes, okay? And I absolutely wanted to get that 10th contact before I could kind of have fun on Friday night. And I actually made that last contact at 6:20, okay, at 6:20, driving on the way to pick up my daughter at preschool. And I could have been doing other things like that, but I absolutely wanted to get that because I made a commitment to finishing the day strong and getting that last contact. Now, here's the really interesting thing about it. He's a mortgage guy, and he couldn't spend time at that time at 6:20. You got to keep in mind, people are probably thinking Friday night, they're thinking about their weekend, but I was committed to a goal I set, okay, and I wasn't going to stop until I hit that goal. And he said, I can't talk to you, Gary, now, but I absolutely want to talk to you. Are you available to speak on Saturday? And I go, that's cool. This guy's interested to want to speak with me on a Saturday morning. You know what I mean? And actually, at 8:30 in the morning, we were on the phone. And I said, I know this weekend's probably a special time for you. You probably don't want to spend too much time on. I was being soft with him on the weekend, and we talked for almost an hour. I'm putting a proposal out there tomorrow, and he might be my next client. And I'm just thinking, God, if I didn't have that urgency to finish strong, okay. So I want you guys to just take a moment here in the room. What does finish strong mean to you? Just write down 1 or 2 sentences. Does it mean finish July strong? Does it mean finish the day strong today? Does it mean finish the year strong? If you'd write down, what does finishing strong mean to you? Because it means different things to different people. Mark, what's it mean to you?
Close, O'Neill, Vintners, and Distillers. That is today.
Right on. That's cool. You have a presentation with them today?
I presented on Friday.
Did you?
This past Friday, yeah.
And is there a follow-up call or something set up with them today? Or?
Yeah, I tried to schedule something already early this morning, but yeah, we'll see.
Right on. I'll think good thoughts for you. Phyllis?
Thank you.
I said finishing the year strong.
Okay. What would it have to look like? Okay, because remember, you're 7 times more likely to accomplish something if it's in writing and reviewed regularly. Remember that. You guys 7 times more likely if it's in writing and reviewed regularly. What would that mean for you to finish the year strong? He was specific with what it is, close it today, the name of the company and everything. What would that look like for you?
It's actually going to mean more activity, more appointments, more opportunities. So, I really have to get cracking on this last quarter to get my appointment scheduled.
Yeah, and I challenge you to say what more equals to. Write down, be specific. Write that down, okay? The more specific, the better. Okay, if it's vague, more. When I say I want to do more than what? Okay, Marshall?
Put finish each task strong. Yeah.
Okay. Once again, I'd challenge you to be specific. okay, what exactly it would be. Okay, Jeff, what's it mean to you to finish strong?
I'm thinking in Q4 we shouldn't miss any opportunities. We still have time to be all over those opportunities for the last quarter, so we don't, we want to focus on the now, the immediate, for the next couple months. But I think when we get to October, November, December, we can't afford, the way the year has gone thus far, to miss any opportunities. You need to be there early, often, and really close Q4. So for me, finishing strong is finishing the year strong.
And you're setting it up in the third quarter to finish the fourth.
Yeah, just to be mindful of that.
I hear you. Okay. Right on. Okay, so let's go to selling in a down market and open to the first page. For the past couple years, we've heard lots of negative, fear-based headlines and news from many sources. We've lived through challenging times before, and we'll live through whatever this wild ride might go through now and in the future. You must believe in yourself and know you have whatever it takes to do the right things. You must look back in the past successes and past challenges and know you have what it takes to be successful. Self-image and self-esteem are part of your success. When we have a healthy self-esteem, we take appropriate risks, we are more goal-directed and driven, and we face and move through the fears. Belief in yourself is a starting point for all achievement. So, guys, even the strongest salespeople, sometimes their self-esteem goes down. I can tell you myself, when I've had times, man, I'm a pretty good salesperson, but I have self-esteem issues sometimes. And it's because it's the negative self-talk that I sometimes allow to get into my head, saying, it's just a tough time right now. People aren't buying. And we absolutely have to get back to that. And it's one of the sessions I taught with you guys on positive self-talk. Remember the affirmations and whatnot? Even the strongest guy, presidents, CEOs. Do you guys know even our president reads affirmations? Okay, that may or may not be good if you guys like our president. But he reads his affirmations daily 4 or 5 times because he goes through so much, and we can tend in our mind, I don't know about that, and we start to beat ourselves up. So if you guys would just write on your paper, review positive self-talk, review affirmations. Have I gotten lazy a little bit and I'm not reading my affirmations? I am strong. I can get through this. Once your affirmations are there, then it causes you to do those actions to do what you want to do in your life. And if the actions are right, the results are going to be right. But when the self-talk is kind of tough, man, things are down, this and that. And so the core to selling in a down market is making sure our mind's right. And what I did is I put together 25 things that are things that you can focus on when times are tough to be better and be more solid in what you do. So number one, okay, so actually at the very top is focus your attention on being proactive, not reactive. That would be at the very top of the 25 tips. Focus your attention on being proactive, not reactive. So now's not the time to react to a bad month. Now's the time to be proactive and make it a great month. Okay? And proactive will mean different things for different people. Number one is, since people are more selective in a down market, you really have to wow them. You've got to go the extra mile. You've got to be creative. My suggestion to you guys, and I was talking to a few people, is I would think that one of the modules that I should do with you guys in the next couple of months is just a quick review of all the modules we've done to kind of bring everything back to the surface. But one of the modules I did that I wasn't here in person that I filmed, and if you guys haven't watched it, you should go back and look at it, is the creative marketing one. Creative marketing becomes much more important and much more powerful to use when times are tough, because let me ask you guys, if you use creative marketing to get a client, what does it subtly say to your potential client? What does that say to them? What do you guys think?
You're different.
You're different. What else?
Because they're different.
Yeah.
That's our new, part of our new logo.
Oh, is it? Okay. How about this? Does it subtly suggest that you'll go the extra mile once you have the client? Now we had discussions in here that some of them are corny for some of you, and some of them will like one marketing piece a little bit better than another marketing piece. But I can tell you, just in the junk mail that I get all the time, if something comes that's creative or different, I always call them back and say, hey, tell me a little bit about that. They at least get a phone call from me because they took the extra mile, okay, to get the business. So one is...
Well, on a side note, just to ask a personal question.
Sure.
If they're selling you something, and I mean, you get the creative approach, but how often do you actually buy that product?
10%.
Okay.
I would guess. Yeah, because especially what it costs. If it's something small, the guy took the effort. I'm a softie because I'm in sales, but I'm going to call him back, and I'm doing two purposes. I want to see how they came up with it. I've gotten several of my ideas from people marketing on me, And two, sometimes I actually like them as a salesperson. If they're that creative, have you guys ever bought something because you like the person? Okay, and sometimes you call these creative people and they're cool, and then you want to help them. Okay, so it's a small little thing, but if you're not doing anything right now that's different and creative, I'm going to challenge you to do something. Okay, what's your USP? What's your unique selling proposition? What is it that Heffernan? What is the unique selling proposition that you guys think Heffernan has?
Expertise.
That other companies don't have?
Depends on the type of industry. Being niche focused, we have various folks within the firm that are, in the top 5% industry wide within their space. So that would be what I would think.
Anybody else have anything what makes you different?
I mean, that's a big question. I mean, there's,
Yeah.
it's going to depend on the producer, on the niche they live in, what story will resonate with their individual client. So, I mean, some people may care that we're privately held. Others don't care.
I know.
So it just depends.
Biggest one that I see it comes back to is that usually it's the person. It's the person that's selling to them, and that's unique. And if they like the person and you're competitive, okay, they'll make a decision to work with you. Have you guys ever bought something that you paid a teeny bit more, but you like the person? Okay, so just something to kind of think about. Okay, next one. Understand, number 2, why people are fearful so that you can overcome that obstacle. The 5 things buyers worry about in tough times, and just for you to be conscientious about it, is financial, cost containment. So if you could say something like in a presentation, gosh, I understand, Mark, you're probably really watching your pennies during this tough time. If you're bringing up the objection and you're being aware of what their challenges are, what do you think they think of you? You're sensitive, okay, and you understand where they're coming from. Clear buy-in priority, needs versus wants. Laying off employees is a concern of people, and brain drain and stress over layoffs. These are types of things that they're worried about, and if you can get in their world and understand the pains that they're going through, it's very powerful. Number 3, feed your mind daily. So in tough times, it's almost like you need to go back and review your binder more. I'm studying my own stuff and our company stuff more now than I ever have before, because it's powerful. Negative stuff comes in, and you have to keep that positive stuff coming in. So feed your mind daily. Do you practice scripts, no verbiage, to bring yourself to a higher closing percentage? Is your mind better today than it was 6 months ago? What are you feeding your mind with daily? It's very important. Number 4, accept rejection, deal with it, and get right back to the plan. Keep a positive mental attitude. Feed your mind with your proper motivation daily by reading, self-talk, affirmations, etc. Do you have a succeed no matter what attitude? I think I've used this example. Pretend there's a camera on the wall, and if your children or your significant other, someone important in your life, was watching everything you did, would they be proud of you? Okay. Next.
Not lately.
Not lately. Are you putting a little extra time? Little extra time. This is number 5. And you making up for the changes in the market. So there's a lot of studies that I saw. There was a Yale study I remember reading specifically, is when the market gets tough, you have to even work a few more hours. Okay? If you work the same amount of hours and do it the same way you've done it, and the market's tough, you'll probably fall back. So for a short period of time, you work more hours, but you reward yourself later. Okay? But you work a little harder. Do you need an assistant to free you up to spend more time? So, like some people get a second and third assistant and invest even more in the business when times are tough, knowing that you're investing this much money in your assistant, but it's going to pay off this much. So how can you get more work done? Either you got to put more hours in, or you have another person helping you put hours in. Look at that whole thing about how you can do that in a tough time. How are you managing your time? Are you disciplined to do what needs to be done to succeed? That's number 5. Number 6. I want you guys, we've done this before, but it's been a few months. I want you really quickly to write down your business goal for the next quarter. So in the circle, write down your business goal for the next quarter. So what do you want to get accomplished business-wise between now and, let's see, July, August, by September 30th? Crystal clear. What absolutely crystal clear, specific do you want to get done between now and September 30th? You might even could take this sheet and rip it out later and put it on your desk so it's just right there in front of you. And then really quickly just take a moment and write down what are you going to have to do more of to do that? What are you going to have to do less of to do that? What are you going to have to start doing and what are you going to have to stop doing? Just take a moment and just a quick, to hit that goal that you absolutely want to do business-wise by September 30th, what are you going to have to do more of, less of, start doing, and stop doing? Okay, the next one. Do you have an accountability system in place, number 7? Number 7. Have you considered a coach to hold you accountable to your goals? Or do you have a manager that's absolutely holding you accountable? We did accountability 2 months ago. Is your best friend holding you accountable? Have you probably got excited when we did the accountability session, but if you slacked off a little bit, are you still accountable just as much as you were 2 months ago? And maybe this is just the kind of like, you know what, I need to go back to my accountability partner, and I need to get back on that again. Number 8, find a mentor of somebody who has or is succeeding in the market. That was another suggestion that I gave to you. Who is rocking it right now? Who's in the top 5%? Have you had a meal with them recently? Have you been talking to them? What are they doing that maybe you're not doing? Find a mentor. Number 9, are you maintaining balance? So when times are tough, because here's an example. I know a guy that he's rocking it right now in work as far as activity goes. He's working more hours and everything, because I shared you got to work more hours. But what's been happening, he's starting to put on weight. He hasn't been working out. He hasn't seen his friends. So the other part of his life got out of balance again. So my suggestion when you're in a down market is you got to really look at the balance to make sure that all of your stuff's staying good, including work. And so looking at the wheel again, and in your guys' binders, the wheel a couple times. So just make a little note there. Review the wheel at some time in the next week and ask yourself, am I balanced? Write that question down. Am I balanced right now, or do I need to see if I can get back in balance? Am I balanced? Now, this is a big one, number 10. Bring up the objection of tough times before the client does. Sell the benefits, understand what the potential client wants. So we don't, if they bring out, God, times are tough right now, we're not really making any changes, you could absolutely say, one of the reasons I was giving you a call is times are tough right now, man. A lot of people are really looking at some different ways to do things. You want to bring up the objection before they do. Bring up the hard times before they do. Bring up the challenges they're having before they do. It's so much important that you bring it up before they do. Okay, that's a big deal. $11. I don't know how much control you guys have of price, but take this next part kind of at what it's worth and how it applies to your market. but adjust the price to fit the needs of the economy. For example, you may need to raise the price to fit your sales goals, at the same time changing the sales script to reflect how valuable your product is. You may need to invest more money and time into your product to justify the extra cost. You also may need to take a few benefits and components away from your product to allow you to sell more of them and make up the loss in sales, increased number of sales made. So take about 1 minute and write on your paper what that paragraph means to you. Where do you have some flexibility to play with price? Do you take something away? Do you offer something more expensive to make up? You know what I mean? How do you make up for that? And number 12 goes right into the same thing. And once again, think about how this applies to your industry. Okay, they say you want to lower things 15 to 20%. You possibly can't do that. I know that, but that's kind of where people are wanting. They want a deal. They're working you more for a deal. Do not tell your clients or customer that the fee is a special reduced fee. Simply present it as your bid on the project. If customers and prospects sense you are cutting fees because you're losing assignments, they'll take advantage and try to force your prices even lower. So keep your pricing tactics secret and simply present the prices you normally would. So never say, I'm giving you a deal. Why do you not want to say, I'm giving you a deal, or I'm getting you a deal? Why do you guys think?
Don't expect it annually.
Yep. And it kind of cheapens what you guys do. Okay. Number 13. Take extra time in down market to build stronger relationships. So now's the time, guys, when you want to take them to a ball game, when you want to take them to a meal, when you want to spend extra time with them. When, like I would say that conversation that I had with the guy on Saturday morning was an hour long. I'd say 45 minutes of it was about, he was just up here in the Bay Area, went to the same restaurant, we got kids the same age. I just met this guy. But I took extra effort to stay in the rapport building and in learning about him and what his career is and how he got involved in what he's doing. Is he originally from the area? We talked about relationship stuff. I know that furthered my relationship of getting in with him probably. And finally, you might write this little note down. The longer you can talk about relationship without pissing him off, getting him angry, but to the point where, okay, what do you got? Mark, what do you got? The longer you can talk about things that are important to them and things that they like, and you can build a relationship with them, the better your chance of getting them are. Okay, the better chance of getting them as a client. So if that's not a strength of yours, relationship building, you might want to look back at some of the sessions we did, because we did some stuff earlier on. We did Navigate. We talked to Navigate about how to sell to people the way they want to buy. And that's huge that they like you first before they buy from you. Okay, number 14. Now this one's another one that's different. Offer creative financing. The willingness and ability to work with your customers will differentiate you from the rest. So if there's ways that you could help them justify the price and justify the investments and ways to do it, but be creative. Figure out a way. Another one, reactivate old leads. That's another one to do in down times. Pull out your old list. Pull out your old databases. Many of those leads you simply gave up on can be turned into profitable business for you with just a little extra sales effort. In fact, a study by Thomas Publishing Company reveals that most salespeople, regardless of the industry, give up too early. According to a study, 80% of sales to businesses are made on the 5th sales call, but only 10% of salespeople call beyond 3 times. Best way to reactivate these old sales leads is to call them. Ask whether they got your material, whether they have an immediate or future need, and what the status of that need is. And write a little note in there, use more than one medium. A call, an email, some sort of send out. So 3 of the 5 reaches out that they're suggesting you do should be 3 different things. And then you might call again and maybe one other way. But 5 reaches out. And sometimes, like someone, even if you've been in the business for a while, 2, 3, 4 years, you can call and even though you know that person's there, if you ask for that person, oh no, there's a new person here. Okay, just pull out old stuff. It's kind of like pulling up an old stone. But pulling up old stuff is good because sometimes they haven't been called on for a while. Maybe if you're not calling on them, maybe other companies aren't calling on them. Just something to think about. 16. give a superior level of service to your clients and customers. So are you servicing your clients the same way you did a year ago or 2 years ago? Or are you doing some extra things that are like, man, that's good service? I know a gal now that her and her daughter get vegetables delivered every month in a box, okay, of like all this produce and vegetables. And it's just so cool about the guy comes and kind of shows them and, hey, is everything okay? And follows up with them. And it's like they're feeling like they're being well taken care of. Although they probably could get those same fruits and vegetables cheaper at the store, the service is really, really good. So they're keeping it. Okay. Use low-cost add-ons to generate additional revenue. So when times are tough, what are some things that you can do that's like a little small policy, a little small extra thing that you can add on, that if you add it on over and over and over, it makes up? I remember when I used to sell books door to door when I was in college, we sold what was called the volume library. And I really believe how I was able to be one of the top salespeople is I tacked on a cookbook to every single sale. I said, so we got the children's books for the kids, but Mom, you're the one paying for it, so you actually get a cookbook. And so the average sale was a bit higher because we packaged them together and they got a volume library and a cookbook. When I did fundraising for schools, guys, I think one of the reasons I was blessed to be near the top every year is I would do a fundraiser. The first fundraiser week was cookie dough or wrapping paper or ornaments, and I always did a 2-week sale. Because I said the second week we're waiting for the products to come back. You might as well sell dollar candy bars. So I always tacked on like an extra 15 or 20%. What can you ask yourself this question? Write this down. What can I add on to my sales? What can I be talking about more when I'm out there presenting that can be considered a tack on? What can I be? And if I sell several tack ons in the course of several years, it's extra income. It's extra revenue. Plan an aggressive new business marketing campaign. The strategy has 2 parts to it. The first part is that when things are slow, you increase the percentage of time spent on marketing and prospecting for new business. For instance, if you usually devote 10% of your time and energy to marketing and sales when things are fairly busy, you might increase this to 25% when things are slow. During a lull in business, you need to make this extra effort to attract client or customer. Follow up on leads and close sales. The second part of the strategy is to prevent a lull in business from ever happening in the first place. You should market consistently and aggressively all year long. Underline all year long. You shouldn't just do it in spurts. You should have a game plan. I'm going to do this in January. I'm going to do this in February. I'm going to do this in March. And you kind of plan ahead for it. This will be my marketing plan for the year. What types of marketing works best in down market? Use a combination of results-getting direct marketing, direct response print ads, sales letters, self-mailers, postcard decks, special offers, plus low-cost, no-cost visibility-enhancing publicity techniques through social media sources, which is, in addition to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, also includes a blog, press releases, articles, and newsletters. Make a note to yourself. See if you can tighten up your social media. How's your LinkedIn? How's your Facebook? What are you doing in those areas? And there's courses you can take, and there's stuff we even have online in our company. Go to southwesternconsulting.com, and there's things that are free since you guys are part of the program that you can look up and whatnot. But are you efficient with the social media? Because it's just a matter of once you know it, using it, and it's fairly free. It doesn't cost that much. Jeff, is there a lot of emphasis on social media at Heffernan?
Yes.
Is there?
We have a whole committee working on it now, and I think the push is going to get more aggressive as time goes by.
Okay. How many of you guys in here consider yourself pretty good? Pretty good, okay. So it's something we're all going to have, in 5 years from now, it's probably going to be what we do. It's going to be very common, okay? Next. You should market consistently and aggressively. You're long. I did that one already. Repackage your services to accommodate smaller clients or customers and reduced budgets. When you're busy, there's whole groups of prospects you probably turn away without a second thought. These are companies that are too small or under budget, etc. For instance, the client or customer cannot afford to pay you $5,000 for your services, but can afford to pay you $100 an hour for your consultation services. Take your online workshop for $200 or buy your book for $25. Are there things you could sell them at least some sales? Okay. 20. Add value to your existing service. Add value to your existing service. And down market clients or customers in all areas are more concerned with price and making sure they get the best value for their dollar. You can win new accounts and retain existing clients or customers by enhancing your service and providing your clients or customers with more value for their dollar. Okay. 21. Keep busy with ancillary assignments or accounts. A slow period in your business is a good time to busy yourself with other projects, such as cleaning your files, optimizing and or customizing social media profiles, making technical improvements to an existing product or services, auditing your customer support procedures, etc. 22. This is a big one. This is a huge one. Make 5 extra calls per day. 5 extra calls or dials per day. General rule of thumb on the art of sales is 100 calls or dials gets you 10 appointments, gets you 1 sale. Now, I know it's different with you guys, but what would 5 extra calls a day mean to you? Just plus 5. Make it on your desk. I'm going to make 5 more calls than I typically do right now. I'm going to make 5 calls from 4 to 5. Just 5 extra calls. Number 23. Ask for referrals from existing happy customers. Ask for referrals from existing happy customers. '24. One-on-one personal selling is back. Converse with your prospects in order to develop long-term relationships. Ask questions and really listen to the responses. Make a note. Set up as many, make a little note here. Set up as many coffee or lunch dates as possible. When you break bread with somebody, you're more likely to get them as a customer. So write that down. Set up as many coffee or lunch dates as possible. And 25, be a consultative salesperson, not an order taker. You don't want to just sell your customer something. You want to offer them a solution to a problem. So in the back of this, I actually put another wheel for you. I put some goals. What I want each of you to do right now is I want you to take about 3 minutes and look through the 25, and I want you to take 4. I want you to pick 4 that you believe you think are your 4 biggies that you can use to kind of put an insurance behind you. Because there's 25 there. They're not all going to work for you. Some aren't going to be applicable to your business. But the whole idea why we came up with 25 is there are 3 or 4 there that you can improve in. So which are the 4 that you think would be good ones for you? You guys.
For me, number 18, which was the aggressive new business marketing campaign.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hone in on, specific niches and really need to focus on actual campaign and partnering with some of the other producers on that. The other, I had number 10, bring up the objections.
Yeah, before they do.
At a time, yeah, because a lot of the cold calls are, they're whatever with their current broker or
Sure.
things like that. Let's see, the other was the balance. Is a big one for me.
Not getting out of balance, get
Yeah.
back to, yeah. Because if you're right, have you guys ever heard that story about the little boy and the puzzle? Did I tell you guys that story? It's a great story to tell your friends. So this man, he has a little boy, and he absolutely wants to keep his boy busy so he can get some work done. So he does. He goes, what can I do to keep my boy busy? And he takes a magazine, and he opens up the magazine to like one of the pages, and he takes this page, and it's a picture of a man, okay? And he just rips it up in several pieces, thinking that the kid could put it back together as a puzzle, okay? And the kid's kind of a young kid, and it's kind of tough in order to do that. And the kid comes back to him like 2 minutes later, okay? And he says, how'd you come back all done? He goes, Daddy, world, okay? And on the back of it was the picture of a world, okay, like a globe. And in preschool, they had just studied the little kid. They just studied the globe and the world and the continents and everything. And it clicked to Dad that if the world's right, the man's right, okay. And if the man's right, the world's right. Because when he put the puzzle back together with the globe, the man was perfect. So that's kind of a good, a good analogy there. Anything else, Phyllis?
The other one was number 1, the unique selling proposition. Really identifying that unique offering.
Okay. How about the last two of you here?
Yeah, I put number 1 as well, just focusing on how to communicate, what's different with us, with our firm, myself, etc. The crystal clear goals, I've tagged that one as well. Need to probably sit down and hone those in, get them specific. I also put down aggressive marketing campaign. Same thing, just need to get out there through different media. Might make a lot of calls, but not necessarily a lot of mailers, a lot of stuff like that. And then I know I tagged one other one, but I guess converse with prospects. Try to set up more friendly meetings rather than
Sure.
business.
Sure.
You know.
When they break bread with you, man, they like you. You got to figure out a deal with them. If they accept the meeting for coffee or outside, they like you. Now we've got to put the deal together. That's a half victory. Okay. Which ones did you put down?
I put down number 1, 2, unique selling proposition. Number 4, accept rejection, move on, PMA. Number 10, bringing up the objection of tough times before they do.
That's huge. Yep.
And then number 13, taking the time to build relationships, build strong relationships with people you talk to.
Right on. Okay, so this I've written this a long time ago just on a Word doc, and I had several of my training clients just one sheet of paper. It wasn't as detailed as this, but they'd carry this around with them. It would be something they looked at often because the best offense is a good what? Defense. So if we know in tough times things are tough, we want to work on these things. Okay, so now let's go to presentations. Okay, pull out your presentations one.